Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and all the rest. I am back with another video. I was meant to upload and edit a Begonia review today, which I am still working on, but we have just been hit with the news in the past 24 hours that apparently David Harbour, one of the stars of Stranger Things, which is set to release its final season starting this month, has been hit apparently with a harassment complaint by co-star Millie Bobby Brown before Stranger Things season 5 filmed. Now, this comes hot off of the heels of a pretty tumultuous past couple of weeks, probably tumultuous couple of years, I would assume, given the divorce from his wife Lily Allen and the subsequent reveal by Lily Allen on her new album West End Girl that he had been cheating, that he had asked for an open marriage, and her confrontations with his alleged mistress, all of which is on the album, and an album that has been pretty hot right now, that has received and has garnered a lot of critical praise, a lot of critical acclaim, but also has drawn a lot of memes, has drawn a lot of focus for his alleged cheating. And the fact that this kind of hits at a pretty terrible time for him as one of the actors who is on the press tour for this final season, one of the biggest things that David Harbour has ever done in his career. Therefore, this kind of hits him at a terrible time, his personal life coming in to affect his professional life. The leading headline, the leading subline of this whole situation has said that whilst there were pages and pages of a complaint filed by Millie Bobby Brown and her team, none of what has been alleged is sexual in nature. This is very interesting to me. It seems like someone is feeding information to the press, but is essentially trying to ruin him. Also, then, in some sense, kind of trying to protect him and saying it's not sexual, it's not too bad. We just kind of don't like this guy. And that's kind of what happens obviously in Hollywood, in the media, is that someone does something bad or does something allegedly bad, and then there is a subsequent dogpile. That kind of seems like something that might be happening here. I'm not entirely confident that this is real, or at the very least, maybe it was filed by Millie Bobby Brown. There was apparently an inquiry that went on for months, and the outcome of that has not been revealed. He is, of course, in the final season. He is on the press tour. We'll probably get some murmurings from the press as to whether or not this was true. We will see the relationship between these stars on interview sets, and we will see it on red carpets. Whether or not that tells us fully whether or not he's guilty or innocent, I don't think we should be looking there for it. And I don't think we can say, well, they didn't sit next to each other on this couch, so that must mean that they're not friends anymore. We can probably glean, like we did with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, that there was probably a rift here. Whether or not what Millie Bobby Brown is accusing him of is true is a separate issue. An interesting part of this to me is that this was filed before season 5 actually started filming, which it started in January 2024, and Lily Allen apparently supported David Harbour throughout the full ordeal. What is interesting about this to me, season 5 started filming in January 2024. So why is this information coming out now? Why is this information only coming out a couple weeks after the release of this album, and a couple weeks before Stranger Things season 5 is set to air? That's pretty coincidental timing, isn't it? Everyone is kind of jumping on the David Harbour train. Hi, hello, I'm doing that as well. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. You better fucking support me in this. I'm not entirely surprised that this is kind of coming out now. It just kind of seems like someone has it out for him, whether or not this has been revealed by Lily Allen's team, or whether or not this was a Millie Bobby Brown source. That kind of remains to be seen. I'm not entirely surprised that someone has kind of came out and said, like, oh, look at this, because that is the new thing to do. That is the thing to do in the social media age, is that, oh, someone's done this bad thing that might not even be truly the most egregious offense. Oh, let's go and dig something else up. It's not surprising He's just kind of the latest victim of it. And it also comes during one of the best periods of his career. And I'm wondering whether or not this is going to affect his career going forward. Avengers Doomsday, he's set to be one of the main characters in that film. He is literally called in Thunderbolts the New Avengers. He is one of the New Avengers. It would be pretty difficult for them to now remove him, considering the film is already in post-production. It's already finished film. Does that just mean that he's not going to be part of the press tour? It's also important to remember the Marvel Universe has already dealt with Jonathan Majors. So that has kind of set a precedent for allegations of harassment and misconduct and assault. Marvel needs to now be very careful that they follow that through. If they don't, they are going to be accused of potentially racism, potentially whitewashing of their cast. It's going to be interesting going forward whether or not this kind of just dies down and whether or not this is just seen as like, oh, this is a hate train. That's kind of just what Hollywood is right now, or whether or not this continues to affect his career and whether or not he's in any of these Marvel movies after Avengers Doomsday. Obviously, Avengers and Marvel is going through a bit of a tumultuous period right now. Doomsday could potentially be the revival. The bringing back of Robert Downey Jr. is going to garner some critical success and some box office success that hasn't been there for the past 5 or 6 years. And as part of that film, it's very important to the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Doomsday comes off without a hitch. Cannot afford to have controversy on controversy with any of its main stars. It's pretty important that David Harbour both personally and professionally tries to snuff this out and nip this in the bud as quickly as possible. But hate trains on social media are also very good at tearing someone down, and Stranger Things, given how popular it is and given how popular this Lily Allen album was, would we be surprised if he was somehow cut out of the Marvel universe going forward? I'm not entirely sure. I'd be shocked, to be honest.